He pants, realizing he's already cut down 3,000 foes. Yet, his internal count reveals a much larger, more horrifying number. With each monster he slays, the tally climbs relentlessly higher. Surrounded by a hellscape, he continues his grim, unending task. One by one, the demonic beasts fall before his glowing power. The swarm seems infinite, but his resolve never wavers. He turns from the fallen, his cape billowing as the count continues. His once pure blade is now forever marked by the endless conflict. Facing a towering demon, he wonders when his world descended into this chaos. The memory of a peaceful time now feels like a distant, faded dream. A seemingly normal day unfolds in a bustling city square. A child points excitedly at the moon, oblivious to the impending doom. A swirling vortex of red and gold energy appears in the sky. The vortex expands, becoming a fiery portal to another dimension. City dwellers react with awe and confusion to the strange phenomenon. A man observes the portal through a telescope, his expression shifting to unease. Menacing figures emerge from the portal, their forms hinting at otherworldly origins. A horde of monstrous creatures spills from the portal, ready to wreak havoc. A mystical key hidden within the monster world holds the power to seal the portal. The monsters threaten to break through and unleash an apocalyptic calamity upon humanity. In humanity's darkest hour, a new breed of heroes, the Awakened, rose to the challenge. Their sole mission: venture into the heart of the chaos to find the key and seal the gate. One hero vows to hold back the tide, creating an opening for his comrade to push forward. Trusting his team, the Chosen One leaps into the unknown, leaving the brutal fight behind him. Deep within the enemy dimension, the legendary key floats, radiating an otherworldly power. He finally reaches a sacred altar, believing he's found the lock that will end the invasion. With a decisive click, he inserts the key into the glowing ethereal mechanism. Holding the artifact, he gazes at it with intense, glowing eyes, questioning its true purpose. Back on Earth, the sky begins to clear as the people watch the ominous portal finally start to close. But a dangerous thought crosses his mind as he considers turning the key in the opposite direction. The first Awakened quickly learned the key could not only close the portal, but open it at will. Suddenly, the monster dimension transformed from a terrifying threat into a lucrative resource hunt. 5 years later, the world has settled into this new normal, but one man's struggle is just beginning. An armored hand closes around his throat, a grim reminder of his place in this new hierarchy. He's just an ordinary person, facing down the very heroes meant to protect humanity. In the eyes of the powerful Awakened, he is nothing more than an insect to be crushed. A brutal kick sends him plummeting into the ground with bone-shattering force. Lying broken and surrounded by monsters, he resigns himself to his fate. In his final moments, a cherished memory of a smiling woman flashes before his eyes. But as his vision fades, the reflection of a mysterious, glowing figure offers an unexpected redemption. He roars in agony and triumph, finally obtaining the power he so desperately desired. But this newfound strength came at a terrible price, leaving him with a lifetime of regret. The scene shifts to the present day, inside a treacherous dungeon called the Mound of No Return. An Awakened warrior unleashes a brilliant attack against a monstrous spider. The creature reels back as the powerful strike finds its mark with brutal precision. A young man, splattered with the aftermath, looks on in stunned surprise. His teammates snap him out of his daze, reminding him it's their turn to get to work. As part of the logistics team, they're ordered to move quickly before time runs out. This is Fang Wanjie, a 19-year-old who, for now, is just a member of the support crew. Their job is to support the frontline fighters, a role born from the constant need to clear dungeons quickly. While some carve up monster corpses for loot, others distribute vital supplies to the exhausted fighters. It's a high-risk job, as one stray monster can mean instant death for the unprepared support crew. As a rare, unawakened human in this role, he sighs in disappointment after finding no valuable materials. He only endures this exhaustion because a single day's pay can cover a month of hospital bills for someone named Jin Yu. An exhausted fighter demands water, and Fang Wanjie eagerly rushes over with a tray of bottles. But the fighter recoils in disgust, pointing out the monster blood still covering Fang Wanjie's hands and the bottle. Unfazed, he offers water to the rest of the team, unaware that 2 fighters are mocking him from afar. He cheerfully approaches another fighter, offering a drink to a man with a scarred face. The fighter's friendly demeanor is met with a cold, piercing stare that freezes him in place. With a sudden, violent motion, the fighter smacks the entire tray of water out of his hands. A vicious kick sends Fang Wanjie flying, the fighter enraged by his mere presence. The scarred man orders his lackeys to attack, eager to vent his frustration on the boy. His cronies eagerly oblige, landing a heavy blow that sends Fang Wanji reeling in pain. On the ground and surrounded, he desperately asks why the heroes he was serving are now attacking him. The fighter grinds his boot into Fang Wanji's head, pinning him down with contempt. He scoffs at the boy's confusion, declaring him unworthy of even an explanation. But just as the situation seems hopeless, a colossal foot descends with earth-shattering force. The stomp splits the ground, leaving a bloody chasm where the scarred fighter once stood. A new powerful hand grabs a bewildered Fang Wanji, who pleads that this is all a mistake. The mysterious newcomer holds him at the edge of a cliff, having effortlessly dispatched his previous tormentor. The scarred fighter mocks Fang Wanji, amused by his defiance. Fang Wanji, battered and bruised, looks up in fear and confusion. The scarred fighter throws Fang Wanji off the cliff, revealing a cruel motive. Fang Wanji plunges downwards, desperately reaching out as he falls. The scarred fighter and his cronies watch Fang Wanji's descent with malicious glee. Someone observing the scene suspects a hidden reason for this brutal act. An armored hand crushes a mystical key, seemingly ending the dungeon. Fang Wanji impacts the ground below, creating a violent, dusty explosion. Lying amongst the debris, Fang Wanji weakly realizes he's still alive. A monstrous creature looms over Fang Wanji, its presence suggesting impending doom. Fang Wanji struggles, his body unresponsive after the fall. A monstrous claw slams down, threatening to crush him. Another claw swipes, narrowly missing him in a blur of motion. He sits up, momentarily believing he's been spared. But his relief is short-lived as more monsters emerge, drawn by the scent of blood. Surrounded by the grotesque creatures, he realizes his injuries hinder his escape. He scrambles away, desperately trying to evade the closing horde. He grabs a sharp rock, a small weapon against a terrifying threat. He throws the rock with all his might, a desperate act of defiance. The rock finds its mark, striking a monstrous eye. The monster roars in pain as Fang Wanji's attack connects. Fang Wanji has a shocking realization amidst the chaos. He recognizes the mutated monster from unsettling rumors. He faces the mutated monster, feeling a sense of dread. A powerful impact sends him crashing into the ground. Injured and bleeding, he clings to a glimmer of hope. His necklace breaks, symbolizing a loss of something precious. He lies among the rubble, struggling to breathe. A locket reveals a picture of a woman, likely a loved one. Overwhelmed and surrounded, he apologizes to someone named Jin Yu. He clings to his promise of providing for Jin Yu despite the dire situation. He fears he may not be able to keep his promise. He apologizes to Jin Yu, filled with regret and sorrow. A mysterious energy pulses, hinting at a sudden change. The monsters react to the unexpected energy surge. A powerful beam of light erupts, obliterating the monsters. The intense light intensifies, growing in power and scope. An eye opens, suggesting a new awareness or awakening. Massive wings unfurl, revealing a surprising presence. An angelic figure descends, her appearance both stunning and unexpected. A system window appears, presenting the choice to transfer the sacred angel talent. The angelic being accepts the terms, willingly sacrificing her own power without informing the recipient. Her glowing hand gently touches Fang Wanji's forehead, beginning the transfer of her essence. A sacred, fiery sigil burns onto his brow as golden energy surges through his body. As she fades into a vortex of light, she entrusts him with her power and her final wish. He is left alone, a complex magical crest now floating above his head, marking his profound change. A close-up reveals his eyes have transformed, now reflecting an otherworldly power. With a brilliant burst of light, magnificent angelic wings erupt from his back. He stares at his hand, now channeling the pure golden energy he was just gifted. The golden flames solidify, materializing an ornate and powerful sword in his grasp. Fang Wanji unleashes a powerful transformative scream as golden energy surges through him. The monsters below witness the descent of a newly empowered being from above. Fang Wanji, now with angelic wings and a determined gaze, prepares to unleash his newfound power. A brilliant, cross-shaped attack descends from the heavens, aimed at the monstrous horde. The attack connects, resulting in a gruesome display of the monster's demise. More monsters meet a similar fate, their bodies torn asunder by the powerful attack. Fang Wanji descends amidst the carnage, his angelic wings spread wide. A system warning appears, urging the awakened to adapt to their talents quickly. Fang Wanji's eyes blaze with newfound power and determination. He stands amidst the defeated monsters, his transformation complete. Fang Wanji confronts the mutated monster, wings spread, ready for battle. The monstrous creature looms, its single eye fixed on its winged opponent. A clash of power erupts as Fang Wanji engages the mutated monster. A system warning flashes, indicating Feng Wanjie's power is nearing its limit. The monster unleashes a devastating energy beam towards Fang Wanjie. Fang Wanjie braces against the monster's attack, struggling to maintain his defense. He realizes he's being overwhelmed by the monster's power. Fang Wanjie reflects on his ordinary origins and the disdain of the awakened. A critical system error appears, revealing an incompatibility with his new power. Despite his transformation, Fang Wanjie realizes the monsters still pose a deadly threat. A critical warning flashes. His own resentment is overloading the system, threatening a total collapse. Digital data floods his vision as his body struggles to contain the unstable power. Fueled by a burning desire for vengeance, he stares down the colossal hand descending to crush him. A cascade of error messages confirms the worst. The system has completely and utterly collapsed. A blinding flash of energy erupts as the angelic power clashes with the monstrous force. He grits his teeth, his rage against those who scorned him fueling a dark transformation. His holy sword, once a symbol of pure power, begins to show signs of a sinister change. Dark, corrupting energy crackles across the blade, twisting its sacred form into something menacing. The corrupted power explodes outward in a chaotic vortex of dark energy and malice. The mutated monster recoils as Fang Wanji emerges from the chaos, his angelic wings now a demonic black. Consumed by pure hatred, the sacred sigil above him shatters under the weight of his rage. The mutated monster lets out a furious roar, sensing the shift in power. Unafraid, he stands as a silhouette of pure energy, facing down the monster's massive tentacles. With glowing eyes and a silent scream, he dares the creature to attack him. A new system window flashes, announcing that his angelic talent is now mutating. The blue flames intensify, forging new dark armor around his body as the transformation continues. The monster strikes with a powerful tentacle, aiming to crush the newly transformed warrior. But the attack is met with overwhelming force, shredding the massive limb into pieces. The creature looks down in shock, unable to comprehend the sudden reversal of fortune. In the darkness, a pair of cold, glowing eyes open, revealing the new being he has become. A figure descends, enveloped in teal energy, wings extended. Powerful boots land on the crimson ground, leaving dark residue. Intense blue flames frame a determined face with glowing eyes. A system message declares the awakening of the Death Angel talent. Clad in dark blue armor, the figure stands amidst swirling energy. A monstrous creature holds a glowing blue blade, dripping with an unknown substance. The creature offers a chance, but the terms are ominous. The creature recoils, seemingly in pain or surprise. A powerful energy wave emanates from the ground, engulfing the creature. Dark shapes rise from the rocky landscape, filling the blood-red sky. Fang Wanji taunts his foe, questioning the pathetic standard of its summoned monsters. He plants his foot firmly, launching himself into the swarm with blinding speed. Wielding his corrupted blade, he effortlessly tears through the demonic creatures. His movements are a whirlwind of blue energy, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. He stands calm and collected amidst the fiery aftermath of his devastating attack. A close-up on his eye reveals an intense, unwavering focus as he locks onto his primary target. A torrent of raw blue energy descends upon the mutated monster, promising annihilation. The mutated beast can only stare in shock, realizing its imminent demise. The armored young man fiercely grips his sword, holding back his opponent and shouting that he will not let him go. He brings his weapon down with a powerful strike, piercing the monster's head and splattering blood everywhere. A monstrous winged insect descends, leading a swarm. Fang Wanji observes the Corpse King bees a new threat. He declares his dominance over any who oppose him. His armored hand crackles with ominous energy. He unleashes a devastating attack, obliterating the swarm. He notes his transformation isn't complete. He commands the release of more power. His eyes glow with intensifying energy. He surveys the carnage, searching for survivors. He finds valuable crystal cores scattered among the fallen. He holds the crystal core, commanding his new body to absorb its power. But a system error flashes across his vision, declaring the absorption a failure. He stares at the core in confusion, the dark energy receding from his body. A diagram reveals that crystal cores are the main source of power for all awakened. He questions his new awakened status, wondering why he can't absorb the core's aura. With a grimace, he tries to force the absorption, his eyes glowing with frustration. He realizes a different energy is entering his body, one that isn't from the crystal core. He looks down, discovering the energy is the death aura rising from the fallen monsters. A startling realization dawns on him. He can bypass crystal cores entirely by absorbing power directly from monsters. His path to power is now clear. He just needs to keep killing to become stronger. Armed with this new understanding, he immediately races back toward the dungeon's entrance. He realizes that with his current power, getting revenge on his tormentor, Jiang Chu, would be simple. He lands gracefully in the forest clearing where his ordeal began. To his surprise, he finds the golden dungeon key lying intact on the forest floor. He realizes Jiang Chu must have destroyed a fake, intending to trap him in the dungeon forever. Fueled by rage, he shatters the real key, refusing to let his enemy's plan succeed. Deciding escape can wait, he resolves to first focus on honing his newfound abilities. During his first year trapped in the dungeon, he slays a staggering 175,565 monsters. He's grown so powerful that he no longer needs his Death Angel armor to handle ordinary monsters. With casual dominance, he steps on a fallen creature, a testament to his overwhelming strength. He rips off a monstrous appendage with surprising ease. Covered in the monster's remains, he reflects on his past year. A flashback to 1 year prior shows a familiar cityscape. He enjoys a quiet moment with a woman reading a book together. The woman points to a specific illustration in the monster book. The book describes a valuable monster called a Seraphis Unlocker. The woman explains the Seraphis Unlocker's connection to dungeon resets. He questions her explanation, seeking clarification about the dungeon mechanics. Back in the present, he severs another monstrous limb. He realizes his only escape is to eliminate every monster in the dungeon. By his third year, his kill count had skyrocketed to over 1.5 million. Lying on a mountain of bones, he feels the crushing weight of his unending battle. A wave of despair washes over him as he questions if this slaughter will ever end. He then discovers the source of the horde, a vast, churning sea of darkness. From the depths, countless malevolent eyes stare back, an infinite army waiting to emerge. He realizes every monster he's ever fought has spawned from this single horrifying source. The sheer scale of his true enemy leaves him momentarily stunned. His mind struggles to grasp the impossible task that lies before him. After 10 years trapped in this hell, a new S-rank behemoth rises to challenge him. Unfazed, he ignites his Death Angel power, ready to face this ultimate foe. A devastating blow sends him hurtling through the air with bone-shattering force. Crashing into a wall of crimson crystals, he realizes this new foe could easily end him. With incredible speed, he dodges a lethal strike that tears through the air. The behemoth's massive jaws snap shut, but Fang Wanjie is already moving past it. His counterattack connects, resulting in a massive spray of the monster's lifeblood. Battered and breathing heavily, he pushes through the pain of the grueling fight. Standing over the defeated behemoth, he momentarily considers the appeal of giving up. But his fight is far from over, as a new legion of monsters rises to challenge him. The thought of revenge on Jiang Chu reignites his will to fight as he absorbs the behemoth's power. He clenches his fist, remembering his promise to Jin Yu, which gives him the strength to carry on. He resolves to kill every last monster to claim the Seraphis Unlocker and finally escape. His desperation to get out has reached a fever pitch after years of endless slaughter. The scene shifts to his 12th year trapped in the dungeon, where a mystical tree now grows. He reveals that in this entire year, he hasn't managed to kill a single monster. This is because only one remains, a legendary griffin drawn to the light of a treasure tree. Seeing the beast distracted, he ignites his power and seizes the perfect moment to ambush it. He dives from the sky, aiming a decisive blow at the unsuspecting final boss. But his powerful strike is rendered useless as the creature's wound instantly regenerates. The griffin looms over him, its attack failing to leave any lasting damage. He admits this single, resilient foe has been so troublesome that he's been unable to defeat it for an entire year. The griffin retaliates, unleashing a blindingly fast winged assault. A massive explosion sends Fang Wanjie flying, unable to withstand the beast's raw power. From the ground, countless energy spikes erupt, a deadly trap laid by the cunning creature. Fang Wanjie grits his teeth in frustration, recognizing the familiar, inescapable attack pattern. He can only offer a bitter smile, mocking his own inability to overcome this relentless foe. For an entire year, he's been hounded and battered, trapped in this endless game of cat and mouse. He desperately flees as the griffin's attacks detonate behind him with terrifying speed. Finally turning to face the onslaught, he prepares to block the incoming barrage. He leaps over a massive energy blast, narrowly avoiding being impaled by the spikes below. The griffin watches with cold intelligence, revealing it was merely waiting for him to expose his back. He desperately maneuvers through the field of deadly energy spikes erupting from below. The relentless assault finds its mark, piercing his armor with brutal force. The griffin dives in for another attack, its talons aimed directly at him. It mockingly compliments his resilience, acknowledging him as a worthy opponent. He realizes the creature's magic, speed, and power are all nearly invincible. Battered and bruised, he confirms this is the only SS rank monster he has ever faced. The beast then makes a surprising offer: swear fealty and be spared. It looms over him, demanding an answer to its twisted proposal of servitude. Fang Wanji scoffs, recognizing the creature's sadistic pleasure in toying with its prey. But then he questions his own humanity after a decade of slaughter, a dark realization dawning on his face. The griffin shrieks in fury, enraged by his opponent's bold words. It unleashes a devastating wave of energy, intending to obliterate him completely. He explains that his near-death state triggered a dormant power known as the Black Tide. This new ability briefly made him immune to all incoming damage. Not only that, but any damage he now inflicts on monsters is permanent and cannot be healed. He taunts the beast, claiming it made a fatal mistake by allowing him that brief opening. Now holding the advantage, he prepares to end the year-long battle once and for all. Unleashing a new skill, he ensnares the griffin's neck with a glowing ring of deadly energy. The energy ring constricts, delivering a swift and fatal blow that ends the creature's reign. After a year of struggle, he finally stands victorious over the fallen form of the dungeon's final guardian. He stands amidst the dungeon's mystical energy, sensing a significant shift. A swirling vortex of blue energy opens above him, hinting at a powerful event. His eyes glow with an otherworldly light, reflecting his growing power. A spectral hand reaches towards the vortex, initiating a mysterious process. His gaze intensifies, focused on a single word: Seraphis. He strikes the ground, unleashing a powerful shockwave that shatters the surrounding crystals. He braces himself, his dark wings spreading wide as energy surges around him. He lands powerfully, the ground cracking beneath his weight. He descends towards a glowing, ethereal figure floating in the air. He reaches out towards the figure, seemingly attempting to grasp it. A dark, armored hand reaches into a swirling pool of vibrant blue energy. The hand submerges deeper, causing ripples in the luminous liquid. A massive, ethereal being envelops Fang Wanji within its translucent blue form. A circular portal of blue energy opens within the being, its purpose unknown. Fang Wanjie is instructed to remain still and surrender a key quickly. A determined face demands the key with an intense, almost desperate expression. The ethereal being reacts with surprise as something unexpected happens. The being's form distorts and shifts, suggesting a sudden change in its state. Fang Wanjie reaches towards the swirling blue energy, his wings spread wide. He grasps the golden key, its ornate design radiating against the vibrant backdrop. Triumphant, he revels in his apparent success. A fiery landscape stretches beneath a turbulent sky. A beam of golden energy erupts from the ground. He finds himself at the bottom of a newly formed crater. Disoriented, he questions his surroundings. He wanders through the desolate landscape, searching for signs of life. A monstrous creature suddenly appears, interrupting his search. He reacts quickly, engaging the unexpected threat. Determined, he questions the monster's presence. He unleashes a powerful attack, sending debris flying. He discovers his attack has taken down a rather large wild boar. He questions his current strength level after the encounter. He realizes his powerful death energy has been depleted. He accepts his new status as a low-level awakened. He discovers a cabin and wonders if it's used by hunters. He cautiously enters the cabin, looking for food. He calls out to see if anyone is inside the cabin. He walks further into the cabin, noticing something unsettling. He finds some clothing and comments on its style. He finds a map and considers its potential usefulness. He spots a crystal core left behind on a wooden crate. Using the map, he finds his way to a bustling city, blending in with the crowd. He locates the hospital on the map, a surge of hope reminding him he can finally see Jin Yu. A promoter hands him a flyer, asking him to support a guild called Wild Spirit. He freezes, recognizing the face on the flyer as Jiang Kun, his sworn enemy. His eyes burn with fury as he realizes the time for his long-awaited revenge has finally arrived. Looking up, he sees Jiang Chun's face plastered on a massive billboard, hailed as the Wild Spirit Guild's president. The ad boasts of Jiang Kun's heroic deeds, from slaying S-rank monsters to generously donating dungeon keys. Fang Wanji's face twists in pure rage, knowing the dark truth behind the celebrated hero's facade. He crushes the paper in his fist, his resolve for vengeance hardening into a cold, unbreakable promise. He learns that joining his enemy's guild requires being a high-level awakened, a hurdle he'll need to overcome. For now, revenge must wait, as he sets his sights on the hospital where Jin Yu is waiting. He enters the familiar building, observing that after 12 long years, the hospital remains unchanged. He witnesses a desperate nun pleading with a pastor, begging for help to save her son. The pastor coldly informs her that her son's life-saving operation requires a valuable B-rank core she can't afford. Losing his patience, the pastor violently shoves the distraught woman aside. Fang Wanjie moves quickly, catching the elderly nun before she hits the ground. The woman's eyes widen in shock as she recognizes the face of the young man who vanished years ago. He realizes she's Jin Yu's nurse and urgently demands to be taken to her ward. With tears in her eyes, the nurse asks why he was gone for so long, her expression revealing a heartbreaking truth about Jin Yu. The nurse reveals Jin Yu waited but couldn't hold on. Fang Wanjie reacts with shock and disbelief. Birds take flight, symbolizing the passage of time. The nurse explains what happened after he entered the dungeon. Jin Yu's health took a sudden and tragic turn. Even powerful priests couldn't save her. The nurse grieves, revealing she bought Jin Yu a tomb. Fang Wanjie expresses his gratitude and sorrow. He offers an S-rank core to cover the burial expenses. The nurse is stunned by the incredibly valuable gift. He insists the nurse take the core, telling her to prioritize saving her own son's life. Later, at a cemetery, he asks the nurse for a private moment at Jin Yu's grave. Left alone, he stands solemnly before the cold stone, overcome with sorrow. With tears streaming down his face, he presents a handful of glowing pink crystals. He reveals the treasure trove of S-rank cores he painstakingly gathered just for her. He laments his broken plan to cure her illness and craft a necklace from the remaining gems. Realizing she's truly gone, he lets the priceless cores fall from his grasp. He cries out in anguish, accepting that his hard-earned treasures are now meaningless. Collapsing in front of her tomb, he apologizes as a dark, sorrowful energy begins to emanate from him. The black aura of his despair explodes outward, consuming the entire graveyard in a wave of grief and power. Overcome with grief, Fang Wanjie collapses against Jin Yu's tomb. His sorrow intensifies, tears streaming down his face. A celebratory airship broadcasts Jiang Kun's latest achievement. Fang Wanjie's grief turns to rage as he sees his enemy's face. He vows revenge against Jiang Kun, his anger palpable. A powerful dark energy erupts from Fang Wanjie, destroying the airship. Jiang Kun's associate witnesses the unexpected explosion. The scarred fighter orders an investigation, unimpressed by the interruption. Back at the cemetery, Fang Wanjie's dark aura expands. He absorbs the death energy, regaining some of his power. He arrives in a neon-lit city, his quest for revenge still burning. He enters the Awakened Mission Exchange Center, a familiar haunt. The center is bustling with activity, a hub for various individuals. He observes the independent Awakened, unburdened by guild contracts. He recalls his past as a support crew member, a stark contrast to his current power. 20 years have passed, changing his perspective and fueling his resolve. He assumes Jiang Kun believes him to be long dead, a crucial advantage. He decides to lay low and prepare, biding his time for the perfect revenge. An impatient Awakened urges him to hurry, eager to enter a dungeon. He examines a small monster, noting its lack of a valuable crystal core. The impatient Awakened tries to haggle for more, but Fang Wanjie stops him with a calm gesture. He recalls seeing these terrestrial sea creatures before, noting their crystal cores are uniquely exposed. With a swift stomp, he shatters the claw, revealing the valuable crystal core hidden at its tip. The Awakened lights up, realizing the potential for a massive payday with 6 cores from a single monster. As a reward, the fighter offers him a core, but Fang Wanjie rejects the payment for a different request. With a confident smile, he asks to join the Awakened on his upcoming dungeon run. His suspicion piqued, the fighter questions Fang Wanjie's true motive for entering the dungeon. He quickly concocts a story about researching monsters, knowing the truth about his power would be dismissed. Pressed about his talent, he admits he has none but offers his services as a dedicated logistics support. The fighter laughs, grabbing another downtrodden support member as he accepts Fang Wanjie's proposal. A green-haired man condescendingly suggests he stick to safer missions, calling him talentless trash. The muscular fighter apologizes for his friend's harsh words, explaining their small team can't afford the risk. He illustrates how one unawakened member can compromise the entire team's safety in a dungeon. The fighter then tells Fang Wanjie to ignore the other support member, who looks downtrodden. Fang Wanjie's attention is drawn to the support member's badly injured arm. The muscular fighter mockingly explains the man was hurt, while failing the Wild Spirit Guild's recruitment test. His green-haired companion glares, clearly irritated by the loose-lipped explanation. Fang Wanji examines the wound, identifying a potent reptile toxin that requires a B-rank core to heal. The green-haired man scoffs, sarcastically challenging Fang Wanji's unexpected expertise. Unfazed by the mockery, Fang Wanji simply offers a calm and confident smile. Fang Wanji requests a specific monster part from the hooded figure. The green-haired man prepares a concoction, instructing the injured man to consume it. Fang Wanji reveals his true intentions, having used his power discreetly. The injured man examines his arm, surprised by the rapid healing. The muscular fighter welcomes Fang Wanji to the team, amused by his enthusiasm. The fighter suggests recruiting another awakened for safety. Fang Wanji notices something peculiar about the fighter's shirt. He makes a call to someone important, Big Boss. The person on the other end is shocked by the news about their son. Fang Wanji claims he's found a trace of the missing person. The caller delivers a chilling message about the Big Boss's son. The caller's rage intensifies, hinting at a grim outcome. The Big Boss issues orders to his team, emphasizing close surveillance. Fang Wanji seizes an opportunity, inquiring about joining the team. He confidently declares his talent, eager to participate. The team leader celebrates their assembled group, ready to embark on their mission. A team member notices a discrepancy in the numbers, sensing something amiss. The team arrives at their destination, greeted by a mysterious figure. The team leader greets the hooded figure, teasing them about their punctuality. The hooded figure explains their preference for solitude, setting a mysterious tone. He questions the identity of the fifth team member. The hooded figure urges someone to hide. He reveals the fifth member's monstrous nature. He explains the monster's impressive camouflage abilities. He boasts of his monster hunting expertise, unfooled by the disguise. He notes the monster's lack of hostile intent, a new experience for him. The hooded figure walks peacefully, surrounded by butterflies. The team leader signals it's time to enter the dungeon.
He examines the dungeon key, predicting a less dangerous mission.
The key activates, opening a swirling portal of blue energy. The muscular leader urges his team to keep pace as they prepare to enter the dungeon. Fang Wanji hesitates, questioning the wisdom of following a disguised monster into a dangerous dungeon. The hooded figure offers a final warning, advising Fang Wanji to turn back and not risk his life. Fang Wanji's eyes glow with intensity as he angrily rejects the well-intentioned advice. The monster is visibly stunned by Fang Wanji's unexpectedly harsh and forceful reaction. Muttering in frustration, the hooded figure laments Fang Wanji's stubborn refusal to see reason. He steels his resolve, knowing that at this point, danger is unavoidable no matter which path he chooses. With a final command, the team leader takes the first step into the glowing dungeon portal. Without further hesitation, Fang Wanji follows the others, disappearing into the swirling vortex of light. The portal vanishes in a whisper of energy, leaving the forest clearing silent and empty once more. Fang Wanji lands in a fiery volcanic landscape. The muscular leader addresses the team, outlining the plan. He warns of the dungeon's environmental dangers. He describes the main target, molten dogs, and their valuable parts. Team assignments are given based on combat specialties. The crowd controller and archer are paired together. Fang Wanji is assigned to collect the valuable monster parts. The appearance of monsters interrupts the briefing. The team is given a 10-hour time limit. Molten dogs approach, their fiery forms menacing. A molten dog roars, revealing its fiery, single-eyed visage. The muscular leader charges into battle, calling for his companion to follow. He unleashes a powerful attack, slicing through the volcanic terrain. The archer prepares a powerful ice-based attack. She unleashes a volley of icy projectiles, aiming for the molten dogs. The icy projectiles begin to freeze the molten rocks mid-air. Icy shards rain down, a deadly counter to the fiery environment. The molten dogs are struck by the icy shards, their bodies reacting violently. The archer instructs Fang Wanji to collect the monster remains. Fang Wanji retrieves a valuable core from a fallen molten dog. He meticulously extracts a valuable tooth from the fallen creature's maw. For now, he resolves to endure the humiliation of his menial role, hiding his true power. He moves stealthily between the defeated monsters, continuing his assigned task. But in secret, his eyes glow with power as he senses the lingering death energy. Dark auras rise from the fallen creatures, being absorbed by an unseen force. Elsewhere, the muscular fighter follows the mysterious hooded figure across the molten landscape. The fighter questions his mission, wondering why he's paired with this strange girl instead of monitoring Fang Wanji. Suddenly, they find themselves completely surrounded by a new horde of molten dogs. The fighter panics as a colossal skeletal monster emerges, trapping them in an instant. Unfazed, the hooded figure calmly tells him to wait for her command, ready to take control of the situation. The hooded figure focuses, a strange energy emanating from them. They stand defiantly before the massive, monstrous maw. The creature's single eye glares, radiating menacing energy. The eye narrows, focusing its power on the hooded figure. The hooded figure gives a command, their eyes glowing intensely. The archer receives precise instructions, preparing for action. Complex calculations determine the archer's next move. A powerful, glowing projectile is unleashed with precision. The attack strikes the creature, causing a forceful impact. The hooded figure's attack continues, striking multiple targets. The archer's ricocheting attack tears through the horde of molten dogs with flawless precision. He leaps through the air, loosing another perfectly aimed shot while his hooded companion watches from below. With a look of grim satisfaction, the archer confirms his part of the coordinated assault is complete. The muscular fighter and the archer begin a friendly competition, tallying up their defeated foes. While the others celebrate their kill count, Fang Wanjie stands unimpressed amidst the carnage. He internally dismisses the low-grade monsters, calculating the meager amount of death aura he can absorb. The muscular fighter misinterprets his calm demeanor, mocking him for being supposedly frightened by the battle. Ignoring the taunt, the archer unleashes a powerful new skill, a massive lance of pure ice. The devastating attack impales a molten dog, pinning the creature to the volcanic ground. The icy projectile finds its mark with brutal accuracy, striking the monster directly through its glowing eye. The green-haired fighter glares with frustration, disagreeing with the team's approach. He rushes forward, demanding the others stop using magic and let the muscular fighter finish the job. Ignoring all advice, he angrily prepares his own attack, refusing to be ordered around. He unleashes a powerful blast of icy energy, aiming to shatter the monster completely. The molten dog is struck head-on, its body cracking under the force of the icy assault. A vortex of frost completely engulfs the creature, obscuring it from view. Fang Wanjie grits his teeth, knowing this reckless use of magic risks triggering a dangerous mutation. As he predicted, the ice shatters to reveal the monster's form, twisting and warping into something new. The ground cracks open as the creature rapidly expands, its molten body growing to a terrifying size. A colossal, mutated beast now looms over the stunned fighter, a monster he has never seen before. The green-haired fighter recklessly decides to attack the giant monster. He launches a powerful icy halberd towards the creature. The monster easily catches and shatters the icy weapon. The monster's single eye glows menacingly. The monster unleashes a devastating attack, engulfing the fighter in flames. Fang Wanjie intervenes, forcing the monster to retreat. The hooded figure is surprised by Fang Wanjie's sudden display of power. The muscular fighter is also shocked by Fang Wanjie's unexpected abilities. The green-haired fighter questions when Fang Wanjie awakened his powers. The green-haired fighter urges the muscular leader to retreat. The muscular leader questions the team's retreat, concerned about profits and salaries. He orders the hooded figure, Mo Xiaoqin, to take control of the escalating situation. Mo Xiaoqin expresses concern, admitting the monster is stronger than anticipated. The archer urges the leader to retreat, fearing for their safety. The archer worries about the financial implications of their failed mission. The leader is confused by the archer's sudden movement. The archer is caught by the monstrous creature. The leader questions the archer's reckless actions. Fang Wanjie intervenes, using his power to protect the archer. Fang Wanjie's energy pushes back the monster, saving the archer from its grasp. The monster's eye pulsates with unsettling energy. The green-haired fighter screams as he's flung through the air. The monster prepares another attack, its eye glowing ominously. Fang Wanjie sees an opportunity to strike. He channels his dark energy, preparing a counterattack. The archer reacts with surprise to a sudden event. The archer is startled by a mysterious weapon appearing. The archer struggles to control the massive glowing sword. The archer loses their grip on the heavy weapon. The archer screams as they fall into a fiery chasm. A monstrous creature is struck by a powerful attack. The attack sends a shockwave through the volcanic landscape. Fang Wanjie finds controlling death aura challenging. The green-haired fighter reacts intensely to the unfolding events. The fighter looks down at the result of his actions in the fiery chasm. The muscular fighter expresses surprise and amusement. The green-haired fighter reflects on his growing strength. Fang Wanjie observes the fighter's adaptability. The muscular fighter wonders what to do with their extra time. The muscular fighter hesitates to share an idea. The muscular fighter reveals the dungeon key was cheap because of its deadly reputation. He explains that an unexplored skull-shaped cave within the dungeon has claimed many lives. He suggests they explore the deadly cave now that the green-haired fighter is so powerful, much to his companion's horror. Fang Wanji activates his power, releasing blue flames against the backdrop of a volcano. The team receives the signal from Master Kui and prepares to set off. A giant stone skull, cracked by streams of lava, appears before them. The group enters a cave surrounded by molten rocks. The leader warns everyone about the complex terrain and tells them to stay close. He is surprised to find that he has lost the others. Deciding not to panic, he follows Master Kui closely. Fang Wanji stands calmly in the fiery dungeon, seemingly unconcerned. He analyzes the dungeon's layout, predicting the monster's ambush strategy. A monstrous presence lurks in the shadows, ready to strike. A smaller figure separates from the group, venturing off alone. The archer, now alone, sees an opportunity for interrogation. Fang Wanji encounters the monstrous presence. He observes the mutated molten dogs, noting their altered forms. The archer expresses concern about the escalating danger. The molten dogs are swiftly dispatched with brutal efficiency. The archer reacts with surprise as Fang Wanjia effortlessly defeats the remaining monsters. A molten dog is struck by a swift, glowing blue attack. More molten dogs are swiftly defeated by the same powerful attack. Fang Wanjia craves a stronger opponent to replenish his death aura. A single glowing red eye stares out from the darkness. A much larger, fiery monster appears, finally offering a worthy challenge. Fang Wanji prepares to engage the larger monster with his glowing blue blade. A fiery blast erupts from the monster's mouth, aimed directly at Fang Wanji. A hand reaches out, manipulating dark, crackling energy. A concentrated point of blue energy expands rapidly. A dark, swirling mass is propelled forward with explosive force. Fang Wanji taunts the monster, questioning its strength. The monster suffers a brutal consequence. Fang Wanji unleashes a devastating dark energy attack. The energy attack intensifies, promising destruction. The muscular fighter and archer react to a tremor. A mysterious projectile strikes the volcanic landscape. The aftermath of the impact reveals a disturbing detail. Fang Wanji absorbs the death aura from the fallen monsters. The archer realizes he's outmatched by Fang Wanji. Fang Wanji senses a hidden presence. The archer panics, realizing his hiding spot has been compromised. A powerful force erupts from the ground, a blur of destructive energy. Fang Wanji appears above the archer, who now believes his escape is impossible. But instead of attacking the archer, Fang Wanji leaps past him, leaving the fighter utterly bewildered. He smashes the ground, mockingly asking the true hidden figure if they thought he wouldn't notice them. With lightning speed, he seizes the hooded figure by the throat, revealing their hiding place. The figure tries to fight back with a blade, but he effortlessly questions their futile resistance. He applies more pressure, overpowering the struggling figure with ease. Her hood falls, revealing a horned woman who furiously declares she also wants to kill Zhang Kun. She's taken aback as Fang Wanjie calmly points out the eavesdropping archer, asking if she still needs him to explain himself. The archer stares in disbelief, trying to comprehend the sudden, unexpected alliance. The horned woman offers a truce, suggesting they both forget this encounter ever happened. Without a second thought, the terrified archer sprints away from the dangerous pair. Fang Wanji simply turns his back, seemingly accepting her terms without a word. The hooded woman watches him leave, questioning his strange and anticlimactic response. He calmly holds up a crystal core, reminding her he's just a humble support member doing his job. 5 hours later, the team finds the dreaded cave empty, assuming their powerful companion scared everything away. The leader asks if anyone saw anything strange, but Fang Wanji just offers a sly, innocent denial. Back in the outside world, a peaceful forest scene unfolds under the quiet evening light. Suddenly, a swirling portal rips open the fabric of reality, revealing the fiery dungeon within. The muscular leader steps forward, demanding Fang Wanji hand over all the materials from their dungeon run. He scoffs at the meager handful of cores, unimpressed by what the ordinary person managed to collect. Fang Wanji casually lets a single glowing crystal slip from his pocket, hinting at more to come. He then reveals a massive hoard of crystals, leaving the leader speechless and questioning where he got them. The leader's eyes gleam with greed as he excitedly offers to treat Fang Wanji to a celebratory drink. Fang Wanji coolly rejects the offer, turning to leave as the stunned archer looks on. While the others celebrate their haul, the archer makes a discreet phone call, his expression serious. He frantically reports to his boss, admitting he can't handle the target alone. The archer then tries to extort his boss, demanding a huge payment to deliver the supposed killer of the boss's son. As Fang Wanjie leaves, a golden fist suddenly flies toward his face, launched by an unseen attacker. He's sent reeling by the force of the punch, acknowledging its incredible power. He retaliates with his death aura, but the attacker mocks his attempt to fight fire with fire. To his shock, the attacker's golden rune-inscribed energy completely absorbs his attack. He realizes with frustration that his opponent's abilities seem designed to perfectly counter his own. The ambush team reveals itself: a monk, the muscular fighter, and a woman with menacing skeletal appendages. The archer emerges, explaining he was so impressed by Fang Wanjie's power that he brought in specialized backup. With a sinister smile, the archer reassures him that their goal isn't to end his life. Instead, he promises to merely incapacitate him, drawing back his bow with a menacing glint. The specialized arrow streaks through the air, aimed directly at the seemingly motionless Fang Wanjie. Unfazed, his eyes and hair ignite with blue power as he prepares to meet the attack. The monk chants an ancient spell, weaving a circle of glowing runes with his hands. The archer looks around in confusion, realizing his target has vanished from sight. But Fang Wanjie is caught, trapped within a massive, glowing sigil that appeared on the ground. The monk completes his incantation, preparing to unleash a volley of frenzied arrows. A barrage of projectiles rains down on Fang Wanjie, leaving him no room to escape. He's instantly bound by powerful tendrils of energy, completely immobilized by the spell. The archer takes aim, confident that his trapped opponent can't possibly dodge this final shot. But with a look of utter boredom, Fang Wanjie catches the speeding arrow between his fingers. The archer's confidence turns into a sinister grin as he reveals a hidden detonator. The arrow explodes in a blinding flash of light, a specialized weapon designed to overwhelm his senses. Blinded by the flashbang, Fang Wanjie is vulnerable. He's instantly seized by a powerful bony grasp. The woman with skeletal appendages boasts of her capture. Another fighter warns her not to harm their valuable captive. The muscular fighter assures them he'll be careful. He prepares a powerful glowing punch. He unleashes the blow, aiming for Fang Wanjie's face. Fang Wanjie reacts with unexpected speed. The muscular fighter recoils in shock and pain. He cries out as his augmented fist shatters. He endures the assault, the skeletal appendages failing to leave a single mark. The woman's confidence shatters as she witnesses his impossible resilience. She struggles to maintain her grip as her own power seems to turn against her. He scoffs at her meager power, his own dark aura flaring to life. Done toying with his opponents, he lands a devastating kick that sends her flying. The force of the blow leaves her gasping in pain, utterly overwhelmed. Seeing his ally defeated, the monk quickly casts a new spell, forming a glowing sigil. The sigil redirects the archer's incoming attack, trapping the arrow in a temporal loop. His patience worn thin, he shatters the monk's spell with a single furious punch. The blow lands squarely on the monk's face, breaking both his spell and his concentration. With his allies defeated, the archer desperately draws his bow for one last shot. But Fang Wanjie appears before him in an instant, his cold gaze paralyzing the terrified fighter. The archer trembles, unable to release his arrow as Fang Wanjie seizes the bow. With his bare hands, he begins to bend the powerful weapon, cracking it under immense pressure. He shatters the bow completely, the pieces exploding outwards with a burst of force. The archer is left in stunned silence, realizing his formidable weapon was destroyed with no effort. Fang Wanjie grabs the terrified archer, his eyes glowing as he prepares to interrogate him. He lifts the man into the air, demanding to know who orchestrated this ambush. He glances at the fallen team, realizing if Jiang Kun is behind this, he'll have to silence them all permanently. But the archer nervously points to his clothes, offering a cryptic and unexpected clue. He's accused of a serious transgression, playing innocent. He reflects on the unexpected consequences of his actions. He demands to be taken to the person in charge. A distinctive emblem on a vehicle hints at its owner's identity. A sleek, dark car speeds through the night. Two figures ride in the car, their expressions grim. One passenger nervously addresses the other about a delicate situation. The other passenger silences him, revealing a prior instruction. The first passenger nervously complies with the order. The car approaches a grand estate, its gates opening to welcome them. A vintage car approaches the imposing gates of a grand estate under a starry sky. The vehicle glides through the entrance, its headlights cutting through the darkness of the courtyard. Fang Wanjie and the archer are led down a red carpet toward a man on a menacing throne. The big boss sits silently on his throne of swords, exuding an aura of cold, untouchable authority. His eyes burn with a cold fury as he scrutinizes the man accused of harming his son. The archer tries to curry favor, praising the leader for deigning to meet them personally. With a single cold question, the big boss silences the archer's unwelcome flattery. The terrified archer chokes on his words, immediately shrinking under the man's oppressive presence. The leader's attention finally lands on Fang Wanjie, his expression filled with contempt. Unfazed, Fang Wanjie meets his gaze with a smirk, offering a casual greeting to the powerful man. The big boss poses a rhetorical question, gesturing towards the seemingly confused Fang Wanjie. He reveals the entire estate is ensnared in a massive, power-nullifying domain cast by 5 mages. The leader's bloodshot eye betrays his fear that Fang Wanjie might have detected the elaborate trap. Fang Wanjie confirms his spirit energy is sealed, yet he senses a strange weakness in the domain structure. A bead of sweat forms as he realizes there's a more complicated factor at play. His gaze falls on the Throne of Swords, identifying it as the artifact amplifying the domain's effect. He understands the immense effort was to render him completely powerless in the leader's presence. The archer gloats from behind, enjoying Fang Wanjie's apparent helplessness. He proudly reveals he secretly texted the plan to the big boss, using his phone while still in his pocket. Rising from his throne, the big boss steps forward, ready to personally deal with the now trapped young man. The big boss looms over him, his face a mask of cold fury. He grabs Fang Wanjie, demanding to know who hired him to kill his son. Fang Wanjie calmly denies the accusation, attempting to explain the misunderstanding about the jacket, but the archer lunges forward, threatening to punish him for his perceived insolence. A dangerous glint appears in Fang Wanjie's eyes as his patience finally runs out. In a blur of motion, he intercepts the attack, shocking the onlooking big boss. The archer cries out as Fang Wanjie seizes his arm with crushing force. He furiously declares he's done tolerating the man who dragged him into this mess. With a single devastating kick, he sends the archer crashing to the ground. But as he stands over his defeated foe, he senses something strange, questioning the red motes of light appearing around him. The big boss interrogates him, listing off rival guilds he suspects are behind his son's disappearance. Fang Wanjie desperately tries to explain the situation, but his words fall on deaf ears. His pleas grow more frantic as he insists he only found the jacket by chance. Unconvinced, the enraged leader delivers a punishing kick, furious at the perceived disrespect. He gives a chilling order to his snipers, preparing to end the confrontation permanently. But a dangerous glow in Fang Wanjie's eye reveals his calm facade has finally shattered. A memory of his former ruthless self flashes through his mind, a stark reminder of his true nature. With surprising strength, he stops the big boss's foot mid-stomp, turning the tables in an instant. A mysterious purple energy manifests, effortlessly deflecting one of the sniper's laser sights. Dark tendrils erupt from his body, weaving into a complex energy web that neutralizes the entire sniper trap. The sniper is left bewildered as ethereal tendrils disable his weapon. Another guard in advanced armor finds her rifle similarly ensnared by the mysterious purple energy. The entire sniper team is violently pulled from their perches, their elaborate trap completely dismantled. With a furious expression, Fang Wanjie yanks the entire squad from the rooftops with his dark power. He stands over the heap of defeated guards, calmly asking if he finally has their attention. The big boss is stunned, realizing his supposedly impenetrable security was bypassed with ease. Sweat drips down his face as he nervously asks what Fang Wanjie intends to do next. Fang Wanjie's power recedes, his expression returning to a deceptively calm state. He casually slips his jacket back on, completely unfazed by the one-sided battle. With a dismissive gesture, he wipes his hands clean, the confrontation already forgotten. He calmly offers to return the jacket, explaining he found it in a hunter's hut in Shuhai. The archer reacts in shock, recognizing the name of the remote, dangerous region. He points to his own scarred arm, revealing he was injured by one of those very same hunters. Fang Wanjie questions the archer's presence, who sheepishly avoids talking about his supposed celebration. A flashback shows the muscular leader passed out after one drink, leaving the archer to take a lucrative side job out of boredom. The archer frantically tries to de-escalate, insisting his only role was to neutralize the rifles. A defeated guard chimes in, revealing the big boss recently recruited a powerful A-rank hunter from Shuhai. The archer points to a bite mark on his collarbone, accusing this new recruit of being a depraved cannibal. The disturbing accusation causes Fang Wanjie's expression to harden, his mind racing. He recalls the skeleton in the hut, realizing with dawning horror that the bones he dismissed as props were actually human remains. Fang Wanjie plants a seed of doubt, suggesting the remains might belong to the big boss's son. The big boss orders a helicopter to Shuhai, urgency etched on his face. A dark, dense forest under the night sky sets a mysterious scene. A helicopter descends into the shadowy forest, its rotors whirring. Two figures enter a dimly lit hut, their purpose unclear. One figure notes a change in the hut's scent, hinting at something sinister. A closer look at a skull reveals bite marks, matching the archer's injury. The jaw shape confirms a grim truth about the skull's origin. The big boss grieves, realizing the remains are indeed his son's. Overcome with grief, he laments his son's disobedience. A flashback reveals the big boss's son trying to impress his father with his newly awakened abilities. The father scoffs, dismissing his son's powers and insisting that money is the only true strength. The son believes becoming a renowned awakened is the only way to finally earn his father's approval. Disappointed by his father's reaction, the young man turns to leave the office. He declares he has found a powerful master and will return strong enough to finally make his father proud. An aide nervously asks the big boss if he should have his son followed for his own safety. The father coldly dismisses the concern, believing this harsh experience is necessary training for his heir. The memory fades as the big boss, clutching the skull, is consumed by grief and a burning desire for vengeance. Holding his son's remains, he furiously demands the location of the person responsible. The archer reveals the killer is part of the Mountains Group, an elite squad under the direct command of Jiang Kun. The big boss cradles his son's skeletal remains. He orders his associate to gather everyone possible. The associate expresses his condolences but advises caution. He warns against directly confronting Jiang Kun's guild. He emphasizes the importance of their company's reputation. Despite the risks, he prepares to follow the big boss's orders. The big boss mourns his son, promising vengeance. He carries his son's remains, vowing to find the killer. Someone questions the nature of the poison used. A flashback reveals the potency of the poison. A flashback reveals the cannibalistic hunter pinned down, desperately trying to forfeit a losing battle. His opponent coldly observes the massive skill gap between them, explaining the one-sided fight. Fang Wanji deduces that the valuable A+ cores he found were likely taken from this defeated hunter. In the present, the big boss's men carefully collect the scattered skeletal remains for transport. The big boss acknowledges the misunderstanding, his focus now entirely on avenging his son. He offers Fang Wanjie any reward he desires as a token of his gratitude for the truth. Fang Wanjie makes a simple request for a jacket that can conceal his identity. The scene shifts to the imposing traditional headquarters of the Mountains Group. Two guards at the gate attempt to turn away the approaching big boss, stating they are closed. The enraged father effortlessly dispatches the guards, shattering the guild's signs as he makes a violent entrance. The aftermath of a swift and decisive encounter leaves several figures incapacitated. Fang Wanji stands amidst a display of achievements, his presence hinting at a clash of power. A group of individuals expresses surprise and suspicion at Fang Wanjie's sudden appearance. Fang Wanjie moves with surprising speed, his weapon leaving a blur in its wake. The group prepares to retaliate, their expressions a mix of annoyance and determination. Fang Wanji's power surges, his focus unwavering as he prepares to engage. The ensuing conflict leaves the group struggling against Fang Wanjie's overwhelming force. One individual recoils in fear, attempting to maintain distance from the escalating fight. Fang Wanjie issues a command, his attention drawn to a specific individual. Another person reacts with urgency, hurrying to carry out the given instructions. Fang Wanji swiftly eliminates an opponent with a decisive strike. Another figure observes from above, making a cryptic remark. Two more figures join the fray, revealing their presence. Fang Wanji analyzes the situation, noticing a change in his own abilities. He dismisses the two newcomers, focusing on his primary target. One of the figures comments on Fang Wanji's perceived arrogance. Another figure proposes a gruesome challenge with a wager. Fang Wanji reveals his plan has worked, expressing satisfaction. A chaotic clash erupts, with figures sent flying through the air. Fang Wanjie unleashes a powerful glowing attack against his opponents. A figure unleashes a sharp, icy attack, impressed by their opponent's strength. Another figure urges their companion to stop holding back and get serious. The hooded figure questions if their opponent even has a chance to get serious now. A hand gestures downwards, directing attention below. Sharp, dark constructs erupt from the ground, catching someone off guard. The hooded figure seems unfazed as a red projectile approaches. He questions his opponent's reliance on predictable tactics. He accuses his opponent of overestimating their abilities. A figure unleashes a noxious attack, enraged. The hooded figure is engulfed in a cloud of pink energy, the attack connecting. The corrosive gas cracks his mask, but Fang Wanji seems more annoyed than injured. Instead, the noxious attack backfires, splattering across the enraged fighter's own face. Unfazed by the assault, Fang Wanjie lunges forward to deliver a swift and decisive counter. He lands a brutal punch, shattering the man's defenses with overwhelming force. Grabbing his stunned opponent, he delivers a cold lecture on the weakness of those who rely on seniority. Humiliated, the fighter's face contorts as he taps into a more monstrous reptilian power. His transformation completes as a scaly head lunges forward in a desperate, snapping bite. But Fang Wanjie is faster, impaling the creature through its open maw with an ornate blade. He calmly lectures the defeated foe, warning against the dangers of absorbing power beyond one's capabilities. The lesson is driven home as the fighter lies motionless on the ground, his reckless transformation proving fatal. Fang Wanjie expresses gratitude for an unspecified act. Someone surveys the aftermath of a brutal encounter. A tattooed man complains about a superior's decision. The tattooed man boasts about his skill and invites Fang Wanjie to join him. Someone recognizes Fang Wanjie, their expression a mix of surprise and suspicion. Fang Wanjie's intense gaze hints at impending action. The tattooed man cowers before Fang Wanjie, sensing danger. The tattooed man questions Fang Wanjie, his fear evident. Fang Wanjie moves with aggressive intent, threatening the tattooed man. The tattooed man narrowly avoids an attack, expressing relief. The tattooed man mockingly comments on Fang Wanjie's readiness to fight, complaining about the constant challengers. Fang Wanjie analyzes his opponent's fire ability, puzzled by how it was summoned without any visible movement. The tattooed man draws a curved, gleaming blade, preparing for a serious confrontation. He acknowledges Fang Wanjie's impressive feat of defeating 3 A ranks, estimating his high ranking. Fang Wanjie calmly places a sword back on the man's coat, warning him that he has picked the wrong opponent. The tattooed man boasts of his own top 100 ranking as he launches a ferocious, fiery punch. Fang Wanjie meets the attack head-on, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to his opponent's aggression. He effortlessly catches the punch, a small flame igniting on his shoulder from the deflected energy. The tattooed man is sent spinning through the air, bewildered by his opponent's casual display of power. He stares at his own smoldering arm, confused as to how he was burned when his attack was blocked. The tattooed man questions if Fang Wanjie can even comprehend his fighting style. He boasts that a top 100 fighter's style is beyond Fang Wanjie's understanding. Fang Wanjie slams his hand down, creating a crack in the floor. He uses the broken piece of floor as a projectile, surprising his opponent. The tattooed man's fiery attack leaves a burning mark on the thrown tile. He unleashes another fiery attack, convinced it will be effective. He's taken aback as a blue energy construct appears before him. He reveals a hidden weapon ready to counterattack. Fang Wanjie realizes the tattooed man's power isn't fire-based. Fang Wanjie summons his dark energy, preparing to strike back. He coats his hands in dark energy, preparing for a close-quarters brawl. The tattooed man is baffled, questioning why his opponent is choosing to fight physically. He struggles against Fang Wanjie's overwhelming grip, unable to counter the assault. Their clash shatters the ground, a testament to the raw power of their physical exchange. Fang Wanjie taunts his opponent, asking why he hasn't used his supposed fire abilities yet. He suggests his relentless speed is preventing the tattooed man from concentrating his power. He reveals he knows the man's true ability is to accelerate electrons, not create fire. The tattooed man is stunned, realizing his secret technique was exposed in mere moments. Fang Wanjie presses his advantage, enjoying the fighter's growing panic and confusion. He calmly explains he figured it out when his metal zipper began to burn, revealing the man's true power. Fang Wanjie points out his clothes barely burned despite the close proximity. He explains how burning the stone tile gave him a crucial clue. Fang Wanjie confirms his suspicion by attacking with his spirit sword. He reveals he's figured out the tattooed man's carefully hidden talent. Fang Wanjie explains how easily mind-class talents can be overwhelmed. The tattooed man reacts angrily to being called useless. Fang Wanjie warns him not to get ahead of himself. The tattooed man boasts about his full power, accelerating more than just electrons. He unleashes a powerful, intense energy burst. He intends to create a scorching heat field to burn Fang Wanjie. The tattooed man unleashes a powerful, fiery burst of energy. The tattooed man is shocked to find himself injured after his attack. Dark energy swirls around the tattooed man, hinting at a counterattack. The tattooed man cries out in pain as he suffers further consequences. Fang Wanjie stands over him, questioning his earlier arrogance. Defeated, the tattooed man begs for mercy. Fang Wanjie promises to send a powerful figure after him. The tattooed man is startled by a sudden realization. He recognizes Fang Wanji, fear evident in his expression. He desperately pleads for his life, invoking a mysterious name. Fang Wanji's eyes glow with intensity as he recognizes the name the man uttered. Without hesitation, he delivers a final, decisive blow to silence his opponent. He grabs the fallen fighter, desperately demanding to know what happened to the person named Jinyu. The tattooed man offers only a faint, cryptic smile as his life fades. Fang Wanji stands over the motionless body, frustrated by the unanswered questions. He looks down at the defeated foe, pondering the crucial information that was lost in his final moments. The defeated fighter's expression appears lifeless, the confrontation seemingly over. But a sinister smile creeps across the man's face, hinting that he is not truly gone. Internally, the man reveals he survived by manipulating his own body, shocked that Jinyu has become so powerful after 2 decades. As his body begins to regenerate, he resolves to report this startling discovery to his superior, Kunge. The tattooed man lies defeated, a gruesome injury evident. He questions how such a defeat is possible, clearly shocked. He groans in pain, his face contorted in agony. A sudden powerful attack erupts from the ground below him. Fang Wanji stands amidst the destruction, a glowing energy emanating from him. He decides to eliminate all witnesses to his actions. He surveys the city from above, confident his actions will go unnoticed. The horned woman watches him from afar, questioning his recklessness. She expresses concern about his impulsive behavior disrupting her plans. Mo Xiaoqun walks away, her plans seemingly thwarted. A monstrous, multi-legged creature looms, its single eye glowing menacingly. Jiang Sun and his team face the creature, questioning his readiness to engage. The green-haired fighter boasts of his new A-rank status, eager to prove himself. He prepares to showcase his skills against the monstrous threat. He charges towards the creature, a powerful attack imminent. He strikes the creature, seemingly landing a decisive blow. He celebrates his apparent victory, eager to record his first A-rank kill. His celebration is cut short by a sudden, unexpected turn of events. He cries out in pain, realizing he's been caught by the creature. Injured and confused, he wonders if he was tricked by an illusion. The green-haired fighter is struck by a monstrous appendage. The monstrous creature rears back, seemingly surprised. A winged figure catches the falling fighter. The creature roars, clearly not finished with the fight. Tendrils lash out, aiming for the airborne pair. The winged figure promises to heal the fighter. The fighter groans, seemingly in pain. The fighter wonders where he is. The fighter is startled awake. He's questioned about having news. The man shouts into his phone, reeling from a brutal wound as a monstrous creature tends to him. He expresses disbelief, questioning how an entire house and its occupant could simply vanish. Surrounded by his unusual companions, he angrily orders his subordinate to arrange a press conference for the morning. The next day, Jiang Tun arrives alone to a massive crowd of reporters who note his surprisingly humble entrance. He publicly consoles a grieving elderly couple, promising to care for them as if he were their own son. An aide clears a path through the media circus, allowing the stoic Jiang Kun to take the stage. At the podium, he formally addresses the press, stating the attack on his guild is being investigated. With a pained expression, he declares that the loss of his comrades is a far greater tragedy than any material damage. He vows to honor the fallen by rebuilding the guild as a welfare agency and creating a fund for their families. But the crowd, led by the grieving couple, cries out for justice, demanding he find the murderer instead of offering money. Jiang Sun vows revenge for his fallen comrades, promising to destroy the murderer. He slams his fist, determined to bring justice, crushing a guild emblem under his hand. Someone observes Jiang Sun's public performance, noting his shrewd manipulation of public opinion. Another figure questions who could be behind the attack on the Mountains group. A contemplative figure seems to have a suspicion about the recent events. An associate is instructed to bring Fang Wanji in immediately. Fang Wanji refuses to go, sensing something amiss. The associate tries to persuade Fang Wanji, claiming the big boss merely wants to thank him. Fang Wanji questions how they know it was him, worried he left evidence. The associate urges Fang Wanji to come out and discuss the matter. Fang Wanji finds an interesting hiding spot. Someone questions Fang Wanji's unusual choice of refuge. The associate inquires about Fang Wanji's past. Fang Wanji expresses a strong aversion to returning home. A grand estate comes into view. Fang Wanji is presented to the big boss. The big boss offers Fang Wanji a calming beverage. They share a moment of quiet contemplation. The big boss subtly criticizes Fang Wanji's recent actions. Fang Wanji questions how his identity was discovered. The big boss subtly hints at Fang Wanji's vengeful aura and actions. He implies Fang Wanjie's actions were too public and reckless. Fang Wanjie takes a sip, seemingly unfazed by the accusation. The big boss gestures, initiating a strange ritual. He warns Fang Wanjie about the dangers of opposing Jiang Chun. Fang Wanjie wonders how the big boss knows his history. The big boss questions Fang Wanjie's ability to handle powerful opponents. Fang Wanjie asks if he's being advised to abandon his revenge. The big boss assures him revenge is on the table. He outlines the 3 key elements needed for their plan. The big boss reveals he possesses all 3 crucial elements. An associate realizes the simplicity of the big boss's plan. The big boss notices Fang Wanjie's deathly aura. Fang Wanjie is ordered to freshen up and a room is prepared. An associate warns the big boss about the risks of a certain deal. The big boss notices a resemblance between Fang Wanjie and his son. The associate agrees with the big boss's observation. Fang Wanjie stumbles, reacting to something unseen. Fang Wanjie removes his shirt, revealing his physique. Fang Wanjie heads towards the shower, acknowledging his need to clean up. He decides to use a downstairs bathroom, opening the door without a second thought. His entrance startles 2 women, one of whom is caught in the middle of changing. From her perspective, a muscular figure stands silhouetted in the doorway. The woman's shock turns to disbelief as she recognizes the unexpected visitor. Overcome with emotion, she rushes forward and embraces him, crying with relief. Fang Wanjie is completely bewildered by the sudden and intense hug from a stranger. A maid quickly places glasses on the emotional woman, trying to snap her out of her daze. He remains stoic, silently enduring the awkward and confusing reunion. Realization dawns on the woman, who flushes with embarrassment and accuses him of being an intruder. The nearby maid is swiftly and silently neutralized with a precise strike to the neck. The maid instructs Fang Wanjie to wait outside. He steps into a puddle, seemingly lost in thought. Fresh from a shower, he dries his hair, looking contemplative. He questions the maid's presence and her intentions. The horned woman appears, revealing her true form. He asks her what her plan is, intrigued. She explains her strategy, patiently waiting for the right moment. He ends their conversation as the maid returns. He's given a jacket, perhaps as a disguise. An older man mentions his daughter, possibly referring to the maid. Fang Wanjie asks for a black jacket, recalling a previous encounter. The big boss reacts strongly, connecting the request to his son. An associate interrupts with urgent news about the Mountains Group Fund. He shows the big boss a suspicious donation on his phone. The big boss recognizes the donor's name, his expression changing. He realizes the donor is connected to the Black Dragon Guild, surprised. He questions the donor's motives, suspecting a collaboration. He orders Fang Wanjie to accompany him, his tone urgent. Someone plays mahjong, calling out a winning move. The game is interrupted by a sudden burst of destructive energy. The big boss's associate expresses concern as they witness a destructive display. A powerful figure confronts Fang Wanjie, accusing him of reckless actions. Fang Wanjie swiftly retaliates, demonstrating his combat prowess. Others observe the escalating conflict, questioning Fang Wanjie's origins. Fang Wanjie sustains an injury, but his determination remains unwavering. Fang Wanjie quickly subdues another opponent, showcasing his fighting skills. He grapples with a snake-like appendage, turning the tide of the fight. He overpowers his opponent, preparing to deliver a decisive blow. He swiftly defeats his opponent with a powerful kick. An older man intervenes, urging an end to the escalating violence. Someone warns about Fang Wanjie's unpredictable strength. A group of empowered individuals assembles, ready for action. Someone strides forward with purpose, their movement imbued with energy. A large group advances, their movements creating a swirling effect. Some fighters notice a mysterious fog, their expressions wary. A warning is issued about a powerful figure's formidable abilities. A woman with a scarred face stands ready, her weapon at the ready. A formidable construct is revealed, its design suggesting confinement. Someone announces their arrival to a powerful figure. A group expresses gratitude, their mission seemingly accomplished. In a high-tech medical room, the ailing big boss sits tethered to life support, a strange mix of modern science and old faith. He glares at his visitor, weakly demanding to know the purpose of this unwelcome visit. The visitor mockingly praises the big boss's supposed benevolence, pointing out his religious offerings and charitable donations. He presses hot wax onto the man's forehead, angrily questioning why he donated to Zhang Kun instead of repaying his debts. The big boss reveals the money was from smuggling, laundered through the Foundation, and meant for his entire guild. His rival justifies his actions, speaking of the difficulty in negotiating peace and the universal desire for wealth. He offers a new deal, a grace period, and a loan with lower interest, a seemingly generous offer with a hidden price. The catch is revealed as he demands to know everything about Jiang Chun's current activities. Sweat beads on the big boss's face, trapped between his failing health and his rival's predatory offer. The tense negotiation is interrupted as an associate rushes in, calling out a name with urgent concern. Someone kicks over a canister, cutting off a vital supply. The big boss struggles to breathe, realizing he's been sabotaged. Another person quickly replaces the canister, restoring the flow. The big boss demands answers, his expression intense. He reveals he helped someone acquire a talented child. He explains his initial belief about the child's purpose. He reveals a change in plans, admitting his confusion. He insists he knows nothing more, pleading ignorance. The big boss receives the restored supply, relieved. He threatens to reveal the others' actions if they betray him. The associate urges the big boss to leave, ready for the next phase. The associate admires the big boss's cunning plan, anticipating Jiang Chun's downfall. Fang Wanji sits at a bar, seemingly deep in thought. He enjoys a drink, reflecting on his past with Jinyu. He watches a broadcast of Jiang Chun's charity banquet. He recognizes Jiang Chun, recalling a past encounter. He remembers Jiang Chun's lower status in their previous meeting. He ponders Jiang Chun's rise to power, intrigued by his success. He wonders what transpired during his 2 decades of absence. He reacts to a sudden, unpleasant event, startled by the interruption. A flashback reveals the archer trying to coax his muscular friend into another round of drinks. His friend promptly passes out, unable to handle the potent beverages. The archer complains about his friend's low tolerance while placing a drink next to Fang Wanji. He recognizes Fang Wanji from their earlier encounter and offers to buy him a drink. As they sit at the bar, the on-screen charity event transitions from speeches to an auction. The archer expresses his admiration for Jiang Chun, lamenting his own stagnant C-rank status after a decade. Fang Wanji's interest is piqued, questioning what happened 10 years ago to make Jiang Chun famous. The archer is stunned that Fang Wanji is unaware of the major Great Wall Watch incident. Fang Wanji calmly reveals he was completely cut off from the world for the past 2 decades. The archer, realizing the depth of the story, asks if Fang Wanji is willing to share it. A flashback reveals Fang Wanji submerged in a strange containment pod 10 years prior. He reflects on his time in a desolate, monster-filled dimension, a landscape littered with defeated foes. Surviving required creativity, leading him to craft a grotesque hamburger from monster parts. With feral intensity, the battle-worn young man devours his grim but necessary meal. He sighs, a brief moment of satisfaction in his harsh and isolated existence. His eyes hold a deep weariness, contemplating the endless cycle of combat. Surrounded by the aftermath of a great battle, he desperately wishes for a life beyond constant slaughter. The scene shifts to a hospital room, where a heart monitor displays a weak but steady rhythm. An old, frail man lies in bed, weakly refusing a bowl of soup from his attendant. His young, scarred apprentice gently chides him, asking his master to stop speaking of his own demise. The old man compliments his apprentice's physique. A sudden alert appears, startling the old man. The apprentice notices the alert, his expression serious. The alert details a dangerous mission with a high mortality rate. The old man decides to accept the mission, a determined glint in his eyes. The apprentice advises against it, concerned about the danger. The old man reveals a past regret about avoiding the same mission. He explains the tragic consequences of his past decision. He retrieves a powerful weapon, preparing for the mission. The apprentice, intrigued, decides to accompany his master. An older man and his apprentice prepare for action. A vast crowd gathers near a churning body of water. The apprentice marvels at the sheer number of powerful individuals present. A man known as Fan Chan is introduced, his reputation preceding him. Another powerful figure, Lu Shiba, is mentioned, his strength legendary. Shiba's impressive feats of strength are recounted. The older man downplays the significance of S-ranked individuals. He directs his apprentice's attention to an even more powerful presence. The apprentice reacts with surprise, recognizing the 2 figures. The vice leader of the Central Guild, Zhang Hu, is introduced. The vice leader greets the old man, who explains he's just showing his apprentice the ropes. A woman with glowing red eyes gets uncomfortably close, mocking the apprentice's low rank and warning him of the mission's dangers. The apprentice's eyes narrow, his pride wounded by the condescending remark. The old master chuckles, assuring her that his apprentice will stay safely out of the way. But the apprentice defiantly declares he isn't afraid, ready to fight any invaders that appear. The vice leader finds the boy's bravado amusing, offering a single piece of advice: know when to run. The group stares out at the ominous moonlit sea, sensing an approaching threat. The old master points towards the horizon, revealing an unknown object weighing 2 million tons is approaching. The approaching mass is invisible to satellites and radar, forcing them to gather all available power on the shore. The apprentice is left speechless, trying to comprehend the sheer scale of the unseen enemy. A man with a knowing smirk calculates the immense weight of the approaching threat. Another man, wearing a fedora, questions the presence of aircraft carriers in this location. The two men discuss the possibility of an ambush and the UN meeting. The smirking man considers the involvement of Bicania in the unfolding events. A bright, fiery energy erupts from the sea, impacting an unseen barrier. A group of onlookers observe something crashing against a barrier. An object, possibly a projectile, impacts the barrier with explosive force. A fleet of ships is revealed, attempting to breach the barrier. A flag bearing a swirling red symbol suggests the ships belong to Bicania. The smirking man confidently declares he has figured everything out. A powerful figure considers using a devastating attack called Heaven's Tear. Another suggests they could quickly finish their opponents if they're immobilized. On a ship, figures prepare for an impending confrontation. A Bicanian officer expresses surprise at being discovered despite their efforts. Another officer questions their chances in a direct conflict. A commanding officer rallies his troops, emphasizing the importance of their mission. He declares their resolve to fight to the death, his eyes glowing with intensity. The Bicanian forces prepare for battle, their determination evident. Their electromagnetic cannons are unexpectedly blocked, causing concern. A pilot faces a critical situation, realizing he won't be able to stop in time. An immense wall of ice erupts from the sea, impaling the attacking jets mid-flight. Far below, the old master and his apprentice stand as the architects of this formidable defense. The apprentice is stunned by their own power, realizing they single-handedly stopped an entire fleet. A surge of confidence fills the young fighter, who now believes victory is within their grasp. On the enemy deck, an officer scoffs at their defiance, ordering a hulking figure to retaliate. The armored giant decides a massive ship-mounted projectile will make a fitting weapon. He effortlessly rips the colossal weapon from its mountings, demonstrating his raw power. With a mighty heave, he launches the projectile directly at the ice barrier. The improvised missile shatters the ice wall, creating a massive breach in their defenses. Frustrated, the apprentice summons his energy once more, determined to repair the damage. The old master pushes his apprentice back, preparing to unleash his full power. He channels an immense amount of frosty energy into his pipe, his eyes glowing with focus. The apprentice watches in awe as his master becomes the epicenter of a cataclysmic ice storm. With a single breath, the old man unleashes a concentrated blast of absolute zero. The world is consumed by a flash freeze, a technique of overwhelming power. A tidal wave of solid ice crashes down, engulfing the enemy battleships. In an instant, the entire enemy fleet is trapped, frozen solid across the vast expanse of the sea. The once mighty warships are now nothing more than ice sculptures, monuments to their defeat. A surviving enemy officer shivers uncontrollably, his breath turning to frost in the sudden Arctic chill. On shore, the vice leader hastily erects a protective barrier, warning that even S-ranks are not immune to such devastating cold. The officer's boot is encased in thick ice, but it begins to crack under his immense power. He scoffs at the attack, questioning if they truly believe A-rank magic can stop him. With a surge of energy, he shatters the ice, calling his opponents naive for their efforts. On shore, a commander orders the use of a powerful weapon, Heaven's Tear, to strike the enemy's rear. He frantically urges his forces to attack immediately before the enemy has a chance to escape. The Bicanian officer looks up, sensing a new, more powerful threat gathering in the sky. He stares in disbelief as a massive energy vortex swirls above him, a look of shock on his face. A colossal beam of energy descends from the heavens, crashing into the frozen fleet with devastating force. Panic erupts on the ships as a warning is issued that the attack is aimed directly at their ammunition. The aftermath reveals the weapon has overheated, rendering Heaven's Tear temporarily unusable. The fedora-wearing man reacts to the intense heat, wiping sweat from his brow. He mocks the Bicanian forces, blaming them for their predicament. The apprentice is overwhelmed by the sudden extreme cold, shivering intensely. Someone notes the large number of escapees concerned about the situation. A group of figures emerges from the icy chaos, their expressions grim. A vast army is revealed, indicating a significant escalation in the conflict. A woman requests a power assessment of both sides, seeking strategic information. The helmeted figure delivers a grim report. the situation looking dire. The opposing forces' strength is detailed, revealing their formidable numbers. Their own forces are assessed, revealing a significant disadvantage in numbers. A lone C-rank fighter is singled out, seemingly underestimated. The C-rank, however, seems confident in his abilities. A figure charges across the icy battlefield. Two figures discuss the ongoing battle, one seemingly amused. A lone figure advances towards a large group, seemingly unafraid. The lone figure prepares a large-scale attack. The figure's eyes glow with intense focus and determination. He unleashes a powerful ice-based attack. A large figure is ordered to deal with the advancing fighter. The fighter confidently prepares to face the larger opponent. An older man expresses alarm, fearing for someone's safety. Another man offers reassurance, confident in the outcome. A blonde fighter reacts with shock and distress. A large figure descends, shattering icy projectiles. A figure in ornate robes unleashes a swift, dark attack. A large circular opening appears in a rocky surface. The blonde fighter endures a painful experience. The fighter reflects on the intensity of the encounter. The robed figure explains their strategic approach. A large figure assesses the situation, seemingly unimpressed. A mustached man smirks with cruel satisfaction, his plan unfolding perfectly. The hulking fighter stares in disbelief as his leg dissolves into a corrosive puddle on the ice. The green-haired man reveals his treacherous tactic, a reverse-acting poison triggered by the impact. The massive fighter collapses, his allies rushing to his side in a panic. A desperate attempt to help is made, but the rapidly spreading affliction is beyond simple first aid. The would-be rescuers recoil in horror as the corrosive agent spreads to their own hands, a grim warning against contact. The remaining fighters stare at the aftermath, a sense of dread and regret washing over them. The blonde fighter is completely broken, overwhelmed by the horror of the battle and wanting only to escape. Back at the bar, the archer wonders if this traumatic event was the turning point for the once promising warrior. The final grim result of the poison is shown, a testament to the brutal and cunning tactics used in the war. The enemy officer's eyes burn with fury, his rage palpable. The green-haired man mockingly presents an antidote, sarcastically apologizing for being too late. The officer accuses their side of harboring traitors, issuing a final stern warning. With a smirk, the green-haired man points to the remains, claiming he's already handled the traitors for them. The officer's patience shatters as he furiously demands they step aside. The green-haired man meets his threat with a look of complete and utter contempt. He exposes their ruse, identifying the advanced cannons on their ship as Beaconian tech. He then reveals a hidden flag beneath chipped paint, proving their true allegiance is a sham. He taunts the officer, questioning his willingness to die for masters who see him as trash. The officer stands stoic and silent, his expression unreadable as his forces prepare for the inevitable clash. The green-haired man offers a mocking alliance, promising better treatment than their current masters provide. He then dismisses the officer, reminding him he lacks the authority to make such a deal. The taunts continue as he dangles the prospect of a high-ranking position in their guild. The officer's patience snaps, furiously issuing an ultimatum to enter their territory and hunt down the traitors. He summons 20 of his elite warriors who assemble on the frozen sea, ready for battle. A concerned ally asks if they can stall for time, but the strategist grimly states it would be pointless. The old master confirms their grim situation, stating no one nearby is powerful enough to help. The strategist adds that the enemy likely has more surprises waiting, making reinforcements a risky bet. His ally looks on with dread, questioning how they can possibly win this fight. The enemy commander confidently outlines his plan, declaring he will personally take on all 9 of their S-rank opponents. Someone is shocked by the commander's plan to fight 9 S-ranks alone. The commander assures them he's more than capable of handling the situation. He recounts a past victory, reminding them of his underestimated strength. Another person disputes the commander's version of events, citing foul play. The green-haired man consumes a mysterious pill. Another person observes the green-haired man's actions with concern. The Beaconian forces charge into battle. A woman urges her allies to fight without hesitation. Someone questions the enemy's strategy of sending in seemingly weaker soldiers. A large group of fighters prepares to enter the fray. 3 faces strain with exertion, eyes glowing red with power. A group of fighters charges forward, enveloped in an aura of energy. An older man observes the fighters, noting their unusual physical changes. A woman warns against a reckless charge, holding back her companion. A figure creates a massive ice barrier, holding back the tide. The immense scale of the ice wall is revealed, a breathtaking display of power. The older man seems to have overexerted himself, needing medical attention. A younger figure struggles with injuries, calling out for their master. The younger figure reveals the extent of their injuries, unable to move. Another figure expresses frustration, observing the injured fighter. A man urgently asks his injured companion for medicine, who directs him to his pocket. The immense ice wall strains under the assault of the enemy army, threatening to collapse at any moment. A grim explanation reveals the enemy soldiers have consumed a fragment of jade, allowing them to unleash 100% of their body's energy. A strategist warns the incoming force is equivalent to 20 heaven's tears as a call for defensive support rings out. The old master strains, admitting they won't survive unless the ice wall can be reinforced immediately. He pulls out a handful of small, mysterious pills, a desperate look of resolve on his face. Without hesitation, he consumes the pills, preparing for the consequences. A younger fighter checks on the old master, who seems to have regained some strength after his desperate measure. Re-energized, the old master unleashes his power, commanding the massive ice wall to crystallize and harden. His power infuses the barrier with a golden, river-like energy, transforming it into a seemingly unbreakable fortress. Two figures offer their support to old Sia, preparing to bolster the defenses. A muscular figure assesses the reinforced ice wall, impressed by its resilience. He tests the wall's strength, finding it surprisingly difficult to breach. Despite the challenge, he begins to scale the icy barrier, determined to break through. He celebrates his progress, energized by the struggle. The reinforced wall begins to crumble under his relentless assault. The damage to the barrier is assessed, revealing its weakened state. A woman expresses concern, realizing the danger of a full-scale assault. A figure prepares to clear the remaining threats, promising imminent action. A group of figures advances across the icy terrain, their intentions unclear. A woman unleashes a powerful strike against a group of red-skinned figures. She continues her assault, determined to overwhelm them before they can fully power up. One of the red figures braces for impact, his eyes glowing ominously. The woman delivers a swift kick, sending her opponent flying. A blinding flash of energy erupts, suggesting a powerful impact. The aftermath of the attack reveals significant destruction. An officer directs his troops, ordering them to press their advantage. The woman continues her relentless attack, taking down multiple opponents. The red-skinned fighters charge forward, ready to engage. The woman confronts a larger opponent, unfazed by his size. The woman fiercely engages the red-skinned soldiers, questioning their purpose on the battlefield. Suddenly, the soldiers are struck by an invisible force, their bodies jolting from unexpected impacts. A powerful vortex of energy erupts, sending both the woman and her opponent spiraling out of control. Her arm bristles with sharp energy as she witnesses fighters being flung helplessly through the air. The ground is left scarred and littered with the remnants of a mysterious, explosive attack. The young apprentice looks down, unsettled by a strange, soft sensation beneath his feet. Elsewhere, the strategist senses the disturbance, his icy arm glowing as he looks up. He slams his hand down, unleashing a wave of force that traps enemy soldiers in the icy ground. Looking up, he calmly watches as more airborne enemies begin their descent. With a silent command, sharp ice spikes erupt from the ground, decisively ending the threat from above. The strategist explains the futility of flight after a certain attack. He utilizes a unique ability, making combat easier. Others face a sudden, unexpected assault. A grim scene unfolds, suggesting a powerful attack's aftermath. A figure questions the logic of the current situation. He ponders the enemy's chances of success. A plan is discussed, anticipating reinforcements. The motivations of the invading forces are questioned. Someone questions the enemy's ultimate goal. A countdown begins for a powerful attack, Heaven's Tier. A powerful figure issues a chilling command regarding the invaders. A figure known for their poison skills is challenged. The poison-wielding figure prepares a venomous attack. The venomous attack strikes a large, skeletal structure. The attacker questions the effectiveness of their poison against the skeletal creature. Another figure strategizes, needing to buy time. A hand glows with fiery energy, preparing a powerful strike. A fiery attack is unleashed, its name revealed. A wounded figure acknowledges the strength of their opponent. Realizing the danger, the wounded figure prepares a powerful counterattack. A fierce fighter roars, finding their weapon ineffective against a swift opponent. A powerful defensive technique is deployed against a glowing attack. The fighter is impressed by their opponent's strength and ability. A swift counterattack sends one combatant reeling. The attacker considers escalating the fight, contemplating their next move. The attacker strategizes, realizing the volatile nature of the battlefield. Another combatant observes the fight, pleased with the current progress. One fighter urges another to join the escalating conflict. The other fighter requests silence, needing to concentrate. One fighter accuses another of dishonesty regarding their combat role. Panic sets in as someone questions their next move. One figure intervenes, stopping another's impulsive action. A figure unleashes a burst of energy, their expression intense. A cunning plan is suggested, letting two problems solve each other. A figure braces for impact, preparing for a powerful strike. One figure reveals they know another's true intentions. A figure unleashes a wave of energy across the icy battlefield. A figure ascends, propelled by a surge of energy. A figure celebrates, having successfully tricked their opponents. A wounded figure reacts to the unfolding chaos around them. A fighter narrowly avoids a surprise attack, wondering where it came from. Another fighter recognizes a newcomer, Mr. Mishima, questioning his presence. Mr. Mishima reveals someone named Dushi has discovered their secret. All S ranks are ordered to prioritize eliminating Dushi. The order to eliminate Dushi is emphasized, highlighting the perceived threat. A group of fighters advances, urged on by their leader. The fighters are called back by their boss, leaving the battlefield. A woman questions the sudden retreat, curious about their boss's intentions. A powerful figure observes the situation, impressed by Dushi's impact. Exhausted fighters lament the constant battles, yearning for a respite. The old master stands his ground, conjuring ice to counter a powerful aerial opponent. His adversary unleashes a fiery magical assault, clashing with the icy defense. Following orders, another robed fighter retreats from the melting battlefield. Meanwhile, the apprentice traps an enemy within a swirling cage of ice. The captured fighter struggles furiously, unable to break free from the persistent icy prison. Realizing his ally is outnumbered, the old master resolves to take on one of the S ranks himself. He pushes past his limits, lamenting his age as he prepares a final, desperate strike. But a massive armored foe intercepts his attack, delivering a swift and decisive blow. The freed opponent looks down at a fallen comrade, impatiently urging them to get up and move on. The old master's weapons heal. The old master lies defeated, his weapon fallen beside him. Another fighter falls victim to a swift and brutal attack. The apprentice witnesses the devastating scene, trapped and helpless. The apprentice cries out, horrified by the violence. Fueled by rage and grief, the apprentice vows revenge. The apprentice's fury intensifies, determined to fight back. A figure rushes towards the apprentice, their energy flaring. Another figure reacts with shock to the escalating situation. An attacker boasts of their success, preparing for the next move. A sinister figure prepares a potent attack, their words laced with malice. A robed figure directs a strange purple energy. A horned figure unleashes a fiery attack. A figure rides a wave of flames, narrowly avoiding danger. A robed figure reacts to a near miss, seemingly relieved. A figure taunts another for retreating. A figure anticipates the next move, mentioning someone named Tiding. A concerned figure observes a powerful attack. A bright beam of energy erupts from the ground. Two figures react to the sudden attack, questioning Tiding's involvement. A powerful white energy descends towards two figures. Tiding meets a swift and unexpected end. Someone lands heavily on the icy ground. A powerful figure acknowledges the difficulty of facing S ranks. A change in strategy is called for as the initial plan falters. Two individuals are ordered to hold back and observe. Several figures descend onto the icy battlefield. One fighter calls for assistance in subduing an opponent. A powerful technique, the groundless hell, is unleashed. Someone comments on the intensity of the technique. A great seal is invoked, adding another layer to the escalating conflict. A figure falls from a great height towards a glowing surface. A long-haired figure seems to welcome the descending energy. Another figure struggles against multiple powerful opponents. Someone seems wary of being forced into a swirling vortex below. A fast-moving figure approaches a larger opponent. One combatant appears to taunt another while deflecting an attack. A figure unleashes a powerful kick, charged with energy. The long-haired figure is struck by a powerful force. Someone warns another about the dangerous figure still at large. The long-haired figure seems amused by the situation. A figure unleashes a swift, energy-infused counterattack. The attacker dismisses the previous assault and prepares a devastating counter. The target of the attack reacts with shock and alarm. Another figure witnesses the aftermath of the attack with concern. The attacker reveals the danger of their close proximity. Someone questions the method used in a recent attack. A figure's eyes glow with an unsettling power. A figure is engulfed by a sudden spreading substance. Others react to the spreading danger, identifying it as a poisonous fog. One figure admonishes another for their reckless actions. A figure unleashes a potent green energy, boasting their newfound advantage. A pink-haired warrior leaps into action, taunting her opponents. She swings her glowing blade, relishing the long-awaited confrontation. Her swift strikes leave a trail of red energy as opponents fall. She lands gracefully, preparing for the next wave of attackers. A scarred warrior faces the oncoming threat, his eyes burning with intensity. Others join the fray, ready to defend their position. Powerful allies arrive, their presence radiating strength. The scarred warrior reflects on the arduous battle, his strength waning. A commanding officer addresses the troops, emphasizing a crucial turning point. A horned fighter named Mishima activates a powerful eye technique, revealing a new level of perception on the battlefield. The strategist explains he saw a storage-type spell inside the enemy's mouth when the poison was first released. He reveals the enemy's body is covered in hidden spells that activate with muscle movement to release the venom. Mishima prepares to use his newfound sight to expose the exact locations of every spell on the poison wielder's body. An ally scoffs at the enemy's cheap trick, dismissing him as a less-than-worthy opponent. The pink-haired warrior taunts the poison wielder, confident that his primary weapon has been rendered useless. Unfazed by their discovery, the poison wielder smirks, his tattered clothes hinting at his resilience. He suddenly launches forward, his foot cracking the icy ground as he closes the distance in an instant. He delivers a powerful kick to the warrior, mocking her for underestimating him just because his trick was revealed. The warrior is shocked by his incredible speed, unable to react even though she knew an attack was coming. The poison wielder mocks the pink-haired warrior's confidence. The warrior is caught off guard by a sudden noxious spray. The poison wielder unleashes a wave of dark energy. Someone observes the spreading poison with concern. The poison wielder taunts his opponents, confident in his strategy. He quickly administers an antidote to himself. He unleashes a fiery counterattack. Another fighter intervenes, blocking the attack. A large, armored figure surprises the poison wielder. The poison wielder defends himself with a venomous coating. The armored giant's punch sends the poison wielder skipping across the frozen battlefield. An enemy officer condescendingly praises the poison wielder for holding his own against their 9 best fighters. Looking battered and beaten, the poison wielder feigns relief, catching his breath after the powerful blow. But a cunning smirk reveals his act, pleased that his opponents have once again fallen for his deception. He decides to draw them in closer, calculating he can eliminate 2 more before his luck runs out. With a flash of red energy, he unsheathes his blade, ready to turn the tables on his attackers. A robed combatant warns his ally to retreat, noting her attacks are too close range to be effective. The armored behemoth smashes the ground, demanding his allies clear a path for his overwhelming assault. In a surprising twist, the poison wielder lands a magically charged kick directly on the giant's head. The strategist points out the ruse, explaining how the poison wielder is using their crowded attack formation to his advantage. The strategist explains how the poison wielder uses the crowded battlefield to his advantage. Someone suggests a formation change based on Mr. Mishima's advice. The benefits of a new formation are explained, allowing for more space and tactical advantage. The new formation will also block the poison wielder's view, creating an opportunity for a surprise attack. A fighter eagerly agrees to the new plan, ready to unleash their full power. The poison wielder notices the formation change, realizing it plays perfectly into his hands. He prepares his second-best defense, confident in its effectiveness. He boasts about his defenses, daring his opponents to try their tricks. An ally urges an immediate attack before the poison wielder can release another wave of poison. Another fighter arrives, ready to join the fray with a fiery energy. A fiery vortex engulfs the poison wielder, an attack designed to incinerate the hidden spells on his body. The horned fighter prepares a swift counterattack, his red eyes glowing with malice. He looks down in shock, a blade suddenly piercing his side, catching him completely off guard. His opponent declares his powerful strike has overwhelmed the poison wielder's legendary defenses. Back at the bar, the archer continues his gripping tale for a captivated Fang Wanjie. Fang Wanjie smirks, questioning how S-rank fighters could be falling so easily in the battle. The archer explains that at their level, rank is merely an invitation to the real fight. Taking a drink, Fang Wanjie presses for details, asking how Dushi managed to take down 2 S-ranks simultaneously. The archer leans in, revealing that Dushi simply unleashed his true hidden talent. In the heat of battle, a golden-armored warrior grins as his own unique talent finally activates. For the first time, everyone on the battlefield witnessed Dushi's true hidden talent. To everyone's shock, he was revealed to be an awakened fighter, a master of combat.